Alrighty, g'day everyone. Welcome to the grand finals of the Direct Strike Mixed Tournament. This is Team the High Council, Corn, Graffins and Highs, against a good time, Frank, Lemon and Epic myself. So I got a few co-casters with me. Can't say g'day guys.
What's going on, guys? This is Frank. I'll be casting the grand finals today.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shaki. I'll be helping co-casting this replays of the grand finals of the tournament. Hope you all enjoy it.
Yep, and this is Dr. Manhattan. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Right. So 34 seconds in game, playing 3, 2, 1. Let's get into it.
Job's done.
And that was my Discord, 1 second, so you're going to see a little bit of lag for the next 5-10 seconds.
Well, now we see the first lane. We have Corn on lane 1, starting with 0 gold mines and 3 footmen. He probably wants to ensure early mid control. This has a lot of implication on the third lane, because if the first lane wins the first wave, third lane usually has more gold to build, slightly like 1 more unit, especially if you're playing Huntress. So let's see.
And I can say that this is something that we talked about a little bit, is because I really hate starting 3 Huntress on lane 3, because against a strong early hero with plus unit, you just feed the hero 200 XP for free. Big fan of starting 4 hunts, because I think that beats basically every early hero plus unit. 3 hunt does not.
Our allied town is under siege.
So it's Huntress Mirror on lane 2. And you'd think that the fight would go evenly. Sometimes the game just says no.
Yeah, the focus fire targeting from the hunts wins the lane. And now we see our first hero. We have Archmage on highs, and we have Mass Hunts on epic. Archmage is not so bad, only because he has the Water Elemental and the Blizzard. Obviously, he's weak early game, but he's not so bad against Huntress. You can have a easy wave clear with him in the mid to late game.
And the pierce damage from the Water Elemental is normally a bit of a liability, but it's actually quite good against Huntress.
Yeah, I think Blizzard early usually is more of a mistake than anything. It tends to do more harm than good.
Alright, I'm gonna get some more heroes out here. We have really high tier heroes all around. We have Death Knight, which is insane late game carry with his aura, just like Torn Chieftain. Shadow Hunter, which is arguably one of the best heroes in the game, and then the man, the myth, the legend, Beastmaster.
Oh,
The best hero in the game.
Beastmaster, if that can stack with a statue as well, I could see the potential for that getting a bit ugly.
Yeah, the heroes this game are pretty incredible.
Death Knight, Shadow, Beastmaster. That is, wow.
So looking at the roles, we can only see 2 right now. What do you think of the roles on the High Council team? What do you think their strengths are going to be, their weaknesses?
I don't like Graph's role at all. I think it's pretty one-dimensional. You're going Windrider, well, 2-dimensional, you're going Windriders, or you're going like Banshee Raider. The Necros probably rescue it a little bit, but I'm not a big fan of the role in general.
It kind of seems like all of these roles are pretty mediocre. None of them are outstanding, at least. Yellow's is a bit nice. I like the Knights and the Gargs, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Fast Kodo.
Say, I just went full hunts here, so I wasn't able to deal with those gargoyles, and I'm teching tier 2. The reason is I have crit fiend, so I need tier 2 to actually hurt gargoyles at all.
Yeah,
This
that's
Kodo is
your
doing the job.
your AA. That's a rough spot to be in.
I could have
Whenever
tried.
your opponent goes Gargs and you have fiends, you know it might be a bit rough for you.
Yeah, I thought about trying for a hero, but if I got a melee hero, I can't afford the orb, and I'd leak Gargs again, which I thought was not a good idea.
Here we see lane 2 is being led by the Beastmaster. He's dying, so Shadow is getting the XP, but Beastmaster is winning his lane either way. This is going to be huge, because if the Shadow is winning the lane and getting XP, then the game is going to spiral out of control.
I do like
And
the Mass Huntress with 2 fiends. I like this a lot. Take advantage of your early game. You stack with a statue, Beastmaster summons, because you do not want Shadow and Death Knight to gear up pretty quickly, or to level up pretty quickly.
OZE's lane has pretty low damage at the moment, so with this statue, he didn't kill a single Huntress. What we're saying in chat is to get rid of the healing on the statue, to try and make sure that red versus blue are not fighting under this tower.
yeah, this is a very important. This is a very important tactic we see here. Dark Orb on Death Knight. He's trying to make use of the fact that the Q unit on lane 1 is low HP. So therefore he can build up an army much bigger than his own by spawning skeletons. Dark Orb is orders of magnitudes better than Dark Ranger's arrow because it works on magic immune units. So a normal counter to Dark Ranger Black Arrow is, let's say, Breakers or Dryads, but the orb doesn't care. The orb just makes skeletons out of them as well. So it was a very good decision, and I think it will swing the lane back to him soon.
That Beastmaster is starting to die quite quickly now. Just managed to get enough Huntresses, enough damage to actually take him down. We see a pretty fast Frostworm from high, so I was a bit surprised to see this in game. I didn't really expect the fast tier 3. As you can see, I'm really not ready for it.
The Worm Frenzy is one of the best combos in the game, probably the highest DPS combo in the game. So you can see, even though he's behind on value, with 1 stack and 1 worm, he can swing the tides.
I think if Orange had tanks, you should let them spam more air so you can counter them.
What are all the gold mines looking like right now?
So at the moment we have 1, 2, and 1. And then 2, 1, 1. So 1 player each team has second gold mine at the moment. I can tell you, I saw that Frostworm and was like, oh shit, I can't get a second mine, I need to deal with that.
Yeah, and
So
now
we'll see
we
what I
see
start doing.
for lane 1, on me I got the Shadow Hunter, which is a godsend really. I needed that because if one team has Shadow Hunter and the other one doesn't, it's gonna be rough once he reaches his ultimate. Combined with the healing of Statue, I could sustain a little bit. I was still losing to the Death Knight because he had stacks, but now we have potential to stack back with Lich and Shadow. We have really good heroes on our team, on Team Good Time, and almost as good heroes on the High Council.
It's really just this Archmage is the only hero that you wouldn't say is in your sort of top tier, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, at least he has Brilliance Aura, which is fine considering he has Necros, and if he stacks with his allies, he's gonna be useful with his mass AoE and mass Brilliance Aura.
Yeah, agreed. It's not a case of it's the bad hero, it's just the worst hero amongst excellent heroes.
Yep.
Anyway, this stack is just about getting cleaned up now. Thanks to all the healing Frank's got, he doesn't mind that Blizzard on his backline too much.
We see mass Spirit Walkers on lane 1 against mass Ghouls. Magic damage shreds the heavy armor. And then lane 2 is building a little bit more controlled with Huntress, Necros, and Banshee. Don't really have a weakness on that lane. Maybe fairies, but you can always toggle your abilities on and off. And the Beastmaster keeps dying. I think his positioning is a little bit of a mistake because Shield doesn't have Dispel, so if the Beastmaster is on the side, he can maybe get off a double summon, and the Huntress can tank. But right now he's tanking for the Huntress for them to deal damage. So that's gonna delay his leveling up by a couple of waves.
Yeah, really need to adjust his positioning. You can't afford to have Beastmaster going out so fast like this.
I said the
Yeah,
Talons.
You have such strong late game heroes that you really need to. If you have a strong early game hero, you need to make the best out of that.
See the Talons coming out of my lane now. Talon plus Crit Fiend is always a bit of a risk, but I was actually trying to toggle the web.
This is so rough for you. This Fiends and Talons up against Kargs and Worms. This is just very unfortunate.
See, it looks a little rough, but I've got something in mind to come back, but I do need to rely on my team for a little bit. So you can say I get the second mine now because I'm feeling like I just need a bit extra money. Everyone on our team, good times, gone second mine. Same with East team, besides highs on yellows, sitting at 1 for a little bit longer.
I think he got one now. The second one. At 12 minutes,
Just
22
now,
seconds.
yep, just as that tower went down. I'm at 12:18.
I'm really liking this Dark Orb Death Pact combo here. This is turning out to be a lot stronger than I anticipated.
Yeah, and the main goal of Death Knight is just to gain experience. He doesn't do damage by himself, but the movement speed aura, the healing, is enough to swing the tides. Even close the game out with the double movement speed aura if you buy the other endurance aura item. So he's doing great, and we see here actually Lemon on lane 2 stacked back and won the lane. I didn't see how that happened. It was the Windrider edition, I think.
Windrider and just a couple of summons, a couple of sets of summons. Put in a lot of work.
Big stack.
See, with all the ground getting cleaned up by the stack, I have just enough damage to deal with these boss worms. Just.
Okay.
It's pretty difficult still.
I was going to ask Frank about the roll on Epic, but since Epic you're here, actually, do you remember the tier 3 roll that you had?
We'll see it shortly.
Yeah, we'll see it shortly.
Okay.
I definitely remember one unit he has on tier 3.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I'm still feeling pretty good in my game, but I need enough Talons to deal with what he has right now. So, we've managed to stack back thanks to Lemon, so I gotta make sure that I'm not just gonna lose my fight and get stacked on. So I'm still going Talons for the moment, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, a little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah. Against the mass air, the tanks are very good, but the more you delay it, the more your enemy sinks his teeth into the bait, And it just depends. So for here I was paranoid about Death Knight because He's one more level away from having the game-ending combo of Endurance and level 3 Unholy Aura. But we were winning because we had Lich and the support of Lemon pushing her lane, so Epic had the opportunity to set the bait, you know?
And obviously,
Why I
because
was
I'm going
wondering why
Talons, Yellow doesn't really want to just go Frostworms. He's mixing a lot of Gargoyles, which are good against the Talons, but will get absolutely just eaten by tanks. As you can
And
see,
the
once
Lich
again, I
Nova doing the work
narrowly
here.
have enough to kill those Frostworms.
Huge Nova.
And for lane 1 here, we can see on my lane I had Giants and Wind Riders. I think that combo alone was better than the combo that Korn had. He's having Knights, and he's not showing any air damage so far. So combined with the healing, I think I was pretty confident here. The only thing I was worried about was just stacking if I had to fight worms. But I was confident that in a 1v1 I wasn't really in danger. The danger of Dark Orb was in the first like 10 minutes. After that it loses its efficiency, or like effectiveness I should say.
Skeletons just don't have enough HP to really matter at this point in the game too much. But early on, they're as strong as one of your units.
And
Just feel
here
like-
we see Graf winning the lane, which I find very surprising because 2 waves ago the air was stacking from Lemon's side, so that was very surprising for me actually this wave.
And this was really
This
rough
could
because
swing either way.
this was my siege tank timing. I sold a crit fiend to get double tank here. So I thought I would crush Yellow, but with the addition of the Wind Riders, we'll see how it goes.
And didn't go that well.
Yeah, it's not only the Wind Rider, but I think 2 tanks only wasn't just enough to clear all of this.
Yeah, so I can clear all the small air, but I don't have enough left over to kill the Frostworms.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I get more tanks and, you know, at some point I will be able to kill Frostworms. At some point.
One more thing to note is that the matchup on lane 1 between Gargoyles and Wind Riders is actually favored for Gargoyles if there's no buffs. Once the Wind Riders have attack speed buff, like Common Bloodlust or Unholy Frenzy, then the Wind Riders can actually out-damage the Gargs. And I think Korn was a little hesitant to go full into the anti-air. It's always risky to rely on anti-air to deal with your opponent air and not have damage of your own. And right now he's doing that, and he's more worried about the Giants as well. So I think lane 1 was secured with the Giant Wind Rider against the Knight Garg Talon combo.
It's an extremely clutch level up from that Shadow Hunter there on Blue able to live. But the ult coming out from Teal is pretty strong, that Shadow ult. Again, that Shadow Hunter stacking is making all the difference here.
Yeah, this
That
is massive.
Beastmaster just got off a second rotation of summons, which is always dangerous. And again, that Shadow survives.
And now it's
Tanks
gonna
are
be a
dealing with
more
Gargs, and Talons are dealing
clear. Yeah, now the tanks are really gonna shine because there's nothing to stop them. They have the critical mass, maybe like 1 or 2 more, and they would have no issues with the air.
That's also the level 5 on the Lich, so that level 3 Nova, plus the AoE from the tanks, just does a lot of damage.
Yeah,
They're gonna need
it's helping a
ult.
lot. It's helping a lot into Red actually, because Red has no magic immune units and all squishy units, low HP units, so Lich ult and just the tanks in general, they shred the Garg's Talons. But now it's the moment of truth. Shadow is 6. Every wave is going to be a struggle because Big Bad Voodoo can just swing the game.
But,
Yeah.
Would you like to draw back when you are versus DK with Unholy Light?
I think it depends on how fast the waves are going. So, if Epic wasn't winning his wave as strong as he did, then I would be concerned because then the remainder of yellow would stack with Death Knight, and I can't really stop that. So I have to decide: do I
Yeah.
want to rush in and get auras and try to kill him quickly, or should I try to build back and not fight under tower? I think in this situation, it didn't really matter because Epic was just crushing. But if
Yeah.
it was the latter, I think I would have to build back because I wouldn't want to be in danger of fighting under tower.
I mean, I feel like at this point, it's whoever wins this game, or the winner of this game, is going to be determined by the usage of ults and hero stacking. Because right now, I still feel like it could swing either way.
We see a big
For
Nova
sure.
into level up into Death and Decay from my
That's
Lich here,
huge.
and it's absolutely
Disgusting.
mulching that army.
Jeez.
And here we have another moment. Two Shadow Hunters fighting each other. But the thing is, the Shadow that is on defense can't really use his ultimate because then the base will be exposed. So he has to wait for enemies to be close by so that they target him and not target the base. I've seen many games end like this where the Shadow ults and then the entire army ignores the Shadow and they just snipe the base.
Yeah, it could be tough. I mean, sometimes you feel like you have no choice but to let the ult go, but, you know, obviously it can do more damage than good. You really have to be wise about when you choose to let that ult happen and when to let it rest.
And Beastmaster is
Beastmaster
soon gonna
6.
be ulting, yeah.
Yeah, big ult. Not super effective against a lot of the air, but still doing enough damage.
The thing is, cleaning up the ground like that is really good for me because you might have noticed Hyes was trying to use his Archmage ult to stack with the Death Knight, but if the ground isn't there, my Huntresses will just run up and kill him.
And the tank and Lich combo doing insane amounts of damage into red. And we see here, I got my second hero. I had Farseer. I think at this stage of the game, Farseer is decent enough. He does damage, he has a potential stun to interrupt ultimates, and if the game goes long enough, he will damage the base with his Earthquake. So I wasn't too sad about seeing him. Obviously, one would hope for a Torrent Chieftain or something, but this is still very good.
This is just so unfortunate for Teal's Shadow, because he kind of has no choice but the ult here, but the base is just going to continue to take damage over and over and over again. Like if
Yeah, just
Shadow
last
is not
ulti.
able to push out, he's basically, it's like a wasted ult. Which is really unfortunate.
So actually in this situation, I think one thing that most players don't do is that they should reposition their shadow. If you position your shadow at the top or the bottom of your army, then you have a better chance of the enemy targeting them, and then you don't have to tank with the base. But when you position him right in the middle of your army, they have no choice but to go through the base, and that's when the situation occurs. So a little bit of a reposition on Shadow and on the entire army, I think could have saved him a lot of damage on the base.
Pit Lord, a good second. Just not sure if the game is going to last long enough for him to make a big impact.
That Lord is a little bit scary though, because I'm focused very hard on the air, so I'm pretty bad at killing ground, with the exception of the Lich. So if that
Mhm.
Pit Lord
we
does get to
see-
scale, it's pretty threatening.
Yeah, the ground
Um,
army for
like-
Epic is only hunts and tanks.
Um, Is there any more second heroes that popped up right now? Can you check for them?
So at the moment we have Keeper, we have Pit Lord, Farseer, and not a second hero, but I guess the Endurance Aura on my Shadow Hunter. Because this was what you were describing before, like do you build back, do you move forward? I think here I wanted to just end it, and like I don't want them to be fighting outside of base. I want to do as much damage as possible to the base.
We also see a True Shot Priestess for Lemon, which is honestly pretty good with the Master Wind Rider. It's a good amount of damage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially the silence as well. Gonna be clutch and shutting down the Shadow ultimate.
Considering she's up against Shadow, that is probably the best possible second hero she could have gotten, aside from either that or Dark Ranger. These silences should be huge.
And here we see Pit Lord doing a lot of damage actually. The combination of Tornado and Pit Lord with Worms is delaying the wave for a long time, and Death Knight is almost stacking now.
I think the ulti would have been better. How Orange is ulted right now in red was way better than he would have been on yellow.
So
Yeah,
I did really think
Epic-
about ulting yellow there, but I decided to save it for red this time. I thought I could beat yellow and still have a bit of time ulting red. I was right, but it was close.
Yeah, I have to say the ultimate usage on Lich were actually very important. Red, yes, his army looks weak, but it's actually quite strong in sustaining itself because of the Unholy Aura. So having Lich Ultimate, Lich Nova on it every wave made my life so much easier.
Yellow has Keeper of the Grove, right?
No, Yellow has Pit Lord, Teal has Keeper of the Grove, and now we see a new hero, the best hero,
Ooh,
Torrent
TT.
Chieftain.
This game has almost every epic hero in the game.
I didn't tell you guys, but I actually made a massive screw up with this TC as well. I'll tell you when it, I'll point it out when it happens.
So actually in this moment I was in a tough situation because I was committed to buying auras on my Shadow to end the game, but then once I saw the TC I decided to not do that anymore, and I let him, you know, have the role of finishing the game. So I didn't buy the second movement speed aura, and you're gonna see multiple times that we keep fighting outside of their tower, like barely outside the tower, because I was waiting for TC to level up for him to buy the aura, and I switched to focusing on making strong units in case they stack back, because I have the Shadow. I'm the reset button with the Lich ultimate with Big Bad Voodoo.
Can we
All
check
of
how
the
many
heroes.
belts were chased on before?
Sorry?
Can we check how many belts were purchased on the before?
Yeah, we have 2 belts right now. He's only level 3. Pit Lord is
Yeah.
usually effective when he's level 5. There are 2 schools of thought. You either like stack him early, like 1 belt every couple of waves, every level he gets, or the way I like to do it, which is that you either give him a gem early so that he survives, or you wait until he's level 5, and then you start stacking him. I think both ways are viable. Nicholas is doing the slow and steady wave, so now he has a 3rd belt, which is gonna scale evenly as the game goes on.
You can kind of see how pushing works in these scenarios. So, because we're pushing, I get to use my Lich ult on red. Because red gets hit by the Lich ult, Frank gets to use his Shadow ult on teal, which tends to force out teal's Shadow ult as well. Which makes, Lemon then doesn't have to face the Shadow ult. She can do a lot of damage to yellow. So you can see how, like, these ultimates getting, staggered across the armies is making it really difficult for East team to actually come back. Because they don't get their powerful ultimates against their direct lane opponent.
Yeah, they don't get them where they need them. They get them when they must use them just to survive. That's a huge benefit to us. Right, and then we see Beastmaster on Korn as second hero. Not really impactful in this point of the game, but if he gets to level 6, the high level heroes will be useful, and not heroes, I mean the high level summons will be useful, and his Stampede ultimate, of course, is as good as Lich, Death and Decay. And we see again the dilemma of Shadow under base.
Yep.
Can't ult, but he has to ult, and you know, it's rough. I was worried that he would reposition his Shadow. It might have saved a lot of his army against mine. And we have some bats from Lemon, helping a ton against highs.
That's a good ulti.
Huge ult.
Yeah.
I mean, all the heroes in this game are just absolutely insane. Everybody's first and second hero is just ridiculous.
And we see here the usage of ults, like this is
So
something.
this is the screw up I made with the Lich, and you want to see what the Tauren
Yeah.
Chieftain screw up is? Is level 3. I skilled level 2 Shockwave.
Oh no.
I didn't even
You know,
realize
I
at the
didn't notice
time.
that in the game.
I didn't even realize
I
at the
didn't know.
time.
Would you care Epic in this play to build back to avoid fighting in the fortress area?
I have Tauren Chieftain. I'm all the way forwards trying to damage the fortress. And because red has Death Knight with the aura, I really want to get to the other side of the map and do as much damage as I can to yellow before red can back him up. Because if I'm building at the back, I'm going to fight both their armies, which is kind of okay, because I have so much AoE, but I still would rather avoid it. That was my
Yeah,
logic,
I think
at least.
building forward with TC when the next lane has Death Knight, and just regardless of the Death Knight, it just makes perfect sense. Especially since yellow had Tornado, so he was trying his best to stack. If you build back, you're just playing into his own hand, giving him more time. So you have to go in for the kill with the movement speed auras.
And we can see I bought the Unholy Aura and looked at my army, and I wondered, sorry about that camera control. I looked at the army and I was like, this is slower than I should be. And then I realized what I'd done.
It's a good thing that you didn't tell us in the game, because I actually didn't notice this.
You know, if I couldn't see the elapsed time in the corner, I would be very worried about Pitlord becoming level or getting level 5 with belts, getting level 3 cleave. This could have the potential to do massive damage to Orange's army.
You can see it even just then. But yeah, now
that's...
level up.
Lich is just a monster. Lich and tanks.
And I did skill the aura too now, so I do have level 2 endurance. Thank God.
Yeah. I think I'm slightly ahead of you in the replay.
33,
Because right
26,
now
27, 28.
Oh, yeah, I'm like 10 seconds ahead, I think.
Who cares?
Oh, Earthquake finishes it off.
Yeah, huge shadow ult into the earthquake. That fast there just put the game on a timer.
Yeah, this was game 1. It was a pretty long game, 33 minutes. Really strong heroes all around, and it's 1-0 for a good time.
Alright, loading up the second game now. And we'll pause at like 20 odd seconds. I'll let you know when I've paused and you can sync up to me. And we'll go, yeah? How's my Warcraft crashes? So I'll just need a minute to reopen that. My apologies. Notice that opening replays will make it crash every so often. Sorry about that, but we're sorting it. Won't be long.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Epic?
Yes.
I think Shaky and Manhattan are a bit quiet on stream, by the way.
I'm not quiet. I'm trying to give everyone space because we are too much co-casting.
Ah,
right
no,
now,
I mean not the talking
He
amount.
means
I mean
the volume.
I mean the volume amount.
the volume. Oh, okay, I can raise it. I thought you mean talking
I'll just
less.
turn both of you
No,
up
no,
on
no.
my Discord. That's fine. I'll sort it. See how that goes.
I'll fix it. But if War Freak is going to join and Nicholas, so I think I'm gonna leave the spot because having more than 2 or 3 co-casters is really too much. So
I'm just gonna stay silent for most of the part, I think. Just whenever something comes up.
Yeah. I'm at 25 seconds. Let me know when you're ready to go.
Just give me one moment. I'm loading the replay. Running on potato laptop is never fun.
question, is War Freak going to join or no? He asked it to jump in, and so as well Nicholas.
Sure. So I think I'm ready at 20 seconds.
I'm at
When are
25.
you... Alright. You can just start, I guess. I'm there.
3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Getting into game 2. The High Council versus a good time. Currently, a good time on West team here is 1-0 up.
Job's done.
Alright, so this time we have a slightly different opener. We have a 1 gold mine opener with ghouls, so we see 2 ghouls from Khorne, and I believe I didn't build anything this wave. We can see the rolls right now. We have statue on Nicholas, we have statue on Graffins, but not really a very oppressive roll. Huntress statue Walker is a very nasty combo. For those who don't know, Huntress statue Raider and Garg is almost an unbeatable combo if you have those units on tier. So it's not quite there, but he has healing, so Graffins is not too sad about his role, I think.
Always happy to have destroyers as well. Huge unit.
Yeah, and we see Footman from Lemon, probably the weakest Q unit in the game. I'm never happy when I see Footman, always thinking of getting a hero or teching. And here you see Hunts versus Footman. Now it's Shirley has to make a decision, like how does she want to play this? Hero, tech, go air? Does she completely ignore the ground? So the hero decision or tech decision is going to be the decider for this lane, I think.
Yeah, Footman is
Teal
awkward
went
because
fast tech.
Footman is weak to all of the same like AoE Dark Orb shenanigans that ghouls are, and it just doesn't do damage like Ghoul does. So at least Ghoul has damage.
Yeah. And we see, speaking of damage, we see a
Another
Lich on Epic.
I was very happy
Again.
to see this. Especially because I just had practice toggling it last game.
Job's done.
Yeah, he was in the zone with the Lich. And lane 1 we have a Dark Ranger on Khorne and a Paladin on myself. So this is interesting. Actually, Dark Ranger and Priestess of the Moon are the 2 heroes in the game that can counter Divine Shield by getting silence. I don't think he got silence here. I think he was getting the Black Arrow, as he should, which is much stronger. But against Grunts, I think it's slightly weaker because Grunts have high HP, so they're not going to kill the Grunts very quickly. But he is still winning in this wave, I believe. But it's not going to be as good for him as the Grunts are masked.
I was almost thinking, I didn't say it because I didn't want to tilt you, but I was thinking like, you know, a pub might have won this wave with Holy Light, mate.
Yeah, but that's a very bad decision. If you
It
go
is.
Holy Light, you win one wave and then you regret it for the rest of the next 5 to 10 minutes.
You'll be level 1 for the next 6 minutes at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never a good idea. Fast statue.
And here
Yeah,
we can see
statue
just,
against
Yeah.
MK.
yeah, and there's so little damage from the footmen. They're just struggling to kill the hunts with that statue healing. Managed it this way, but that, I'd be worried about that going forwards. Yeah.
MK is such an interesting hero. He has good damage. He's a good tank, but people are not so scared when they see an MK. Maybe as they should. They should be more scared when they see him. Like for this wave, I don't think if you had any other melee hero, it would not help the footman win. But the MK was one of the heroes that would help them win. Maybe Panda's the only other hero that would help them win.
Sure. I'm saying in chat there I'm super happy to play Huntress versus Huntress. That's because I have a Lich, so I'm just scaling. So if we're just massing hunts, like, brain dead building Huntresses for 10 minutes, I'm going to have a level 5 Lich at some point. So the longer we sort of play that even game on lane 3, the better it is for me because my hero is so good.
And now on lane 1 we see the main combo of Korn's units, which is Priest Statue. Usually that's a very, very strong combo with a melee hero, and just frontline in general, because you can't out DPS the healing. But luckily for me, I had Grunts and Dryads, which is arguably the strongest early game combo that you can have. And it seems like so far Korn is not showing his E key, which is his caster. He might have Dryad, and the lack of magic damage is going to be a big problem for him in killing the Grunts. So he's either holding the unit, not showing it, or he just doesn't have a good unit to build.
So in this spot, the statue does stay alive, but these Dragonhawks are a big pain for Highs because he made a statue as well, and it's just going to get stuck back here. Yeah, it's going to stay alive, but it's not actually doing anything at the moment. And against all my AoE, the area healing from the statue would be really good, but it just sort of wasn't there for a little bit too long.
Yeah, actually this wave specifically, I remember I was a bit worried because I thought we were pushing and you're still almost losing. Like if he had the statue with this wave, I think
I would have
he
lost.
would be much stronger. Yeah,
Yep,
he would have
definitely.
lost. So I was a bit surprised. I think you were attacking tier 2, maybe holding a bit of gold that wave. And yeah, lane 1 I think is a very one-sided battle right now, but that's because Korn is stacking to tier 3. So let's say if he makes a worm or a big unit, then I will be in trouble because I only have Dryads as my anti-air. So if he goes for, let's say, Wind Riders, I probably can't beat that and it's gonna leak into Lemon.
And while that is true for the moment, while he is teching, you're obviously very strong, putting a lot of damage on the tower as well.
Yeah.
And these Dryads
And this
have got...
was another interesting moment. So actually, I didn't know what to do here because I was pushing too hard and I wasn't dying quickly enough, like fast enough. So Lemon was always going to be fighting on their tower, and as you can see here, I think they're going to push us back soon because of this. And even now, I don't know what I should have done there. Maybe Lemon should have built back, as I was saying in chat, but I don't know if that was enough. So it's kind of funny how if you push super hard, it's not good for you. It's actually better for your opponent.
can see the statue really making a lot of difference here. Yeah, the Farseer damage as well, but honestly, just having these statues healing up, really good against all the AoE on my lane. I have a hard time actually finishing off units. Basically Huntresses with a Kodo.
Yeah. And here we see Lemon had the Worm Necro combo. I think other than Footman, where I was just completely paranoid about Dark Ranger fighting the Footman, so I was really waiting for the worms. Because once that's there, I see that Graf has no anti-air at the moment, only Farseer, and yes, Spirit Walkers are decent when they have Master Training because they resurrect themselves, but he doesn't really have a strong counter to worms with his current setup, and it's going to take him maybe 2 to 3 waves to get that. So leveraging our stack so that Lemon gets the air is huge. I think it's more of a factor than the Lich, because the Lich you can stack back against him with healing, but you can't really do much against the worms.
Right. And I was quite surprised to see double Mountain Giant coming up from Corn that wave. Because they ended up just falling over to your grunts despite a small stack, so I'm not sure. I imagine
think
that
he
was
really has the
due to
choice.
lack of options rather than that was like a decision. I think it was just
Trust
a
me, I
case of he
was-
didn't have
trust
much
me.
else.
Trust me, I was flaming him for that until I looked at his roll.
Yeah, I mean, what do you're not gonna spam ghouls, and you need some front line. So I mean, it's just one of those situations where you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, and I think starting with the Destroyer, like if he mass Destroyers, it wouldn't be too good as well because I already showed 2 Dryads, and yes, they're gonna stay alive. I probably won't kill them with the Dryads. It feels like you're having a dead end where, yeah, what I got the Destroyers, but I can't hit his backline. So I understand his giant decision, but I think he was just in a tough spot.
I'm assuming he had Demolisher as his last unit.
I'm not sure if we rolled triple Demolisher this game, or if he had something else, but I think we rolled triple Demolisher.
I see.
Remember there was one
here we
game
see the
against you where I was
situation.
thinking you must have Demolisher, otherwise you would have built any of the other units on that key by now.
And trust me, I think you will see a lot of Demolishers on me.
If you
I was-
got them,
I
you're
was-
gonna build them.
I was not happy to see these Demolishers coming in. Trust me.
What do you mean? They're so good. I was really happy that Lemon was winning this wave, because if you look at my lane, I am extremely weak to this Hippo split. I built a Bat Rider because I was that scared of it. Because I didn't have any other air until I got to tier 3, and I wasn't getting there for a little while. And I was really scared of like my Lich, my Priest, my Kodos just running away following those Hippogriffs. So I wanted to try and block them with anything I could, and Bat was the only option I had. Since Lemon is winning, the Bat Rider is completely useless. But, you know, oh well.
For
Still
safety.
a good, safe, you know.
It's siege
safe-
damage on the tower.
Yeah, it takes damage on the tower. I mean, it's gonna be decent against the Destroyer.
See the Huntress bounce just managing to knock the tower down there. But I think it was going
Yep.
down either way with blue coming in.
Corn is just in such a tough spot with this roll, and going up a Lich, taking all aggro from the Destroyers. This is rough.
And one of the most annoying heroes to stack is Paladin. So Lich stacking with Paladin, just in general, was gonna be a problem regardless of the role that Korn had.
Yeah, you're getting a free armor aura for 3 lanes pushing. It's just rough.
And the worms are coming. I actually didn't think that we would be as strong in this specific wave as we were.
Neither did I, but these triple worms with the buffs.
With the Lich.
Yeah. So you can see I'm chilling
Yeah.
at 0-0 at the moment. And just as I keep watching this fight, I think I start getting upgrades because I realize like, oh, we can actually maybe end the game here. I think I got the Kodo upgrade here actually. And yeah, there's an attack upgrade. Because I didn't think we're I thought we were going to get cleaned out for those worms just putting the tower, locking it down completely with the frenzy. Actually ended up, yeah, just completely cleaning the game. I didn't expect the game to look like this.
Yeah, it was definitely the Lich being a big factor in your lane, and then just lane 1 having big trouble with the rolls. That was the deciding factor, I think.
Honestly, look, watching this back, I think we should have rerolled that game. The triple demolisher roll was a bit rough. I think this would have been a
Yeah.
good reroll angle.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm just sitting paused at 20 seconds in game 3. So let me know when you guys are ready to
There
go.
was one game that was mulliganed.
Not this one.
Not this one. Yeah, it's 32-minute game, right? That you're looking at right now.
Yeah, I assume so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just give me one moment. Well, I have to say, at this moment, I was a little bit happy about the result. I didn't think we were gonna have clean, like, easy games, but it wasn't mostly due to gameplay. It was mostly due to Lich, I think.
Yeah, it did feel good to be 2-0 up. It just feels like you got a bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
Yeah, game 1 was definitely a bit of back and forth, was scary, but yeah, game 2 ended suddenly.
Yeah. All right, I think I'm in. 20 seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds.
All right, ready when you are.
3, 2, 1. All right, into game 3, the High Council on West, and you can have a quick look at the chat if you want. Yeah, so I think we're thinking about re-rolling this one, but we ended up sticking with it. Yeah, the High Council versus Good Time. Good Time on West, High Council on East. It is currently 2-0 up for Good Time. So we'll see if High Council can bring it back. So, what do you think about the rolls here? Let's go Graffin's first. Except for Footman, I really like his roll.
That's interesting. I actually dislike his role quite a bit. He has a lot of good units, like Priest, Walker, Dryad, Fairy, and of course Wind Riders, but none of the units are enough to win the lane by themselves. Like no tanks, no giants, no necros, things that can just have no answer if the enemy doesn't have like that one key unit to counter it. So this role is fun to play, and if you play it right, you're probably never going to lose the lane because you don't have a weakness. Maybe your only weakness is the lack of magic damage on tier 1, but that's fine because you have walkers. So I think it depends on Lemon's role. If Lemon had a really good role, I think Graffins would have a really bad time here. But we're going to see if this is going to be enough.
Yeah, and again, so having a look at the third lane, Ghoul Archer Dryad, Water Hippo, Breaker Talon, Kodo, Aim Bomb, Destroy Chimera. It's a pretty good roll, but
strong roll.
It's not really going to be about the roll. It's going to be about Keeper of the Grove versus Demon Hunter.
The heroes.
And I can tell you as soon as I saw that Demon Hunter, because I can't show you the chat log. What's your time, by the way? Because I paused quickly.
2:24.
Yeah, right.
2:25 right now.
Yeah, we're about there. 2:31, 2:32.
Yeah, 2:33. Okay, so here we see Entangle against Demon Hunter, and we just cry.
Yeah, so I took it that way because I wanted to just kill the ghouls, get a bit of XP, not leak them to the tower. Because I decided that I was going to have real trouble killing that Demon Hunter. I'm teching immediately, because I was thinking that I kind of wanted to reroll my roll, but I really, really needed ghouls in the early game, and it's really, really not allowed against Demon Hunter. They will not do anything. They will just feed him experience.
I'm curious to see if he stacks the demon or not.
We see one gem already, and I'm sure more are gonna come soon. And if we check the other lanes, we have Dreadlord on lane 1, Blade Master on myself, Fire Lord on Lemon, and Dark Ranger on Graffins. Against, again, Footman, low HP units, Dark Ranger is just massacring the army, and it's really bad because the third lane also has low HP Q unit and goals. So yeah, this Dark Ranger is going to be very strong, at least for the next 7 to 8 minutes.
This
Yeah.
is the perfect scenario for Dark Ranger. You could not ask for anything better than going up against Footmen.
I was really
it's-
sad to see the Dark Ranger here as well, because my plan for this wave was just to leak a Dragonhawk to try and buy myself one extra wave to actually get something to fight against this Demon Hunter. So I wanted to just get a Dragonhawk, leak it, hurt Red with it, and try and essentially cheat a wave with that. But obviously the Dark Ranger just killed it, which was kind of rude.
And here, I think I got one gem on the blade. I don't remember why, if I'm being honest. But I think I knew that I had to be strong in the early game. I have grunts, which, believe it or not, very rare. So whenever I have grunts, I just don't want to miss the chance of like securing the early game. And Blade, with his mirror image, he's gonna stall. You see here, I'm not killing them fast enough, but they can't kill me as well. And I hope this would help against the Dark Ranger. Yeah,
Our
as I
Lord
said,
also is not a bad hero as well. I think people tend to overlook him, but Incinerate can be quite a strong passive spell.
Yeah, and I think here Lemon didn't get the passive. I think she had the Soulburn, the Q ability.
That's the summon. It just gets wiped out by the
Oh
Double
no,
Walker.
no. Oh yeah, not the
Oh,
Soulburn,
yeah.
the W. Yeah. Yeah, I think for sure the Incinerate was the better choice here.
We can see I've gone for Breakers on my lane, which are pretty good against the Demon Hunter because they're immune to the immolation, but still not a lot of damage, and I can't kill ghouls yet.
Yeah. But at least he has talons, so the breakers are decent in bouncing back the fairy fire, and
Yep.
they just can't get hit by them, so that's also a plus.
How many gems are on Demon?
At the moment, he's only got one.
Just one.
And Lemon went fast tier 3 because she had ghouls, so ghouls against, not ghouls, I mean footmen against Dark Ranger, so there's really no point in staying tier 1, tier 2. And I was quite happy here. Grunt's still beating Korn's army. He's not showing any magic damage. I don't know if he doesn't have it all or if he's not showing it. I think if he did have it, he would build it by now. So maybe his only magic damage is tier 3 or he doesn't have it at all. Yeah, and Dark Ranger is just crushing this wave. I don't really see how Lemon can win. I mean, Graffins didn't show much, but there are many options that you can do to at least survive a little bit against the Wind Riders, and looking at his role, he has Wind Riders himself, so he's gonna match that.
I mean, at least Spellbreakers can help a little against Dark Ranger for taking the skeletons, but I do not think it will be enough.
Yeah. And lane 3, it was just really hard to watch because there's nothing that Epic can do here. He's really stuck between a rock and a hard place. You either make breakers and die to ghouls, make talons and then you die to the enemy breakers, and it's just sad. You can't even stop the hippo split, so...
Yeah. This
But I was...
Survive? No.
this Demon Hunter has one
Simple.
gem, I'm not even forcing him to buy more. He is tanking my whole army and is unkillable with 1 gem, and I felt really bad about that.
Yeah. And luckily for me, I was still strong enough right now to deal with Khorne, but that's gonna change very soon. I'm not attacking, I'm just getting tier 1, tier 2 units, and with the Demon Hunter leaking into me, I won't be able to hold on. Especially since as the game goes on, Dreadlord is gonna way outscale the Blade Master. Right now the Blade is ahead because Dreadlord is not getting experience, but all it takes is one wave where my Blade dies to Demon Hunter, and then that's it, like Infernal incoming 5 minutes later, you know?
Yeah, I was hoping that this would maybe be a turnaround for me, the Keeper of the Grove stacking, getting level 3. Don't get me wrong, levels and the Keeper of the Grove don't do that much for me at the moment, but like I'm grasping at straws here. I'll take anything I can get. But obviously I didn't actually get the Keeper of the Grove respawn this round. I do get a bit split by those hippos. And the abominations are a big issue. Yeah, I've got some talons, but they just melt through my spell breakers. And yeah, I'm not positioned well around the hippo split. You can see I've got range stuff in the back, melee stuff in the front, and I don't do any fucking damage to Yellow's army. It's a big league. Level 3 immolation plus plague, and my leaks are just gonna half health Frank's stack every wave.
Disease Cloud
Yeah,
is just
the
so
only-
strong.
The only good thing I had is that I had Priest with my setup, so I could do the damage with Talon. Not that much, but it's still something. And then the Priest can help sustain my grunts and my hero. So we'll see a clutch split here by Blade Master. But it's not really enough. And now lane 2 is getting real juicy. I think lane 2 decided a lot of this game. I know lane 3 is the most unbalanced one. Like lane 1 I'm winning, but I'm on a timer, and then lane 3 Demon Hunter is crushing it, but we had some times where lane 2 had an even fight, like this way for example, and I was surprised. I thought Giants and Wind Riders would beat Graffin's army, but somehow Dark Ranger is just too strong. They never seem to be in trouble. Graffin's always like had the advantage, even though it looked like Lemon had the better army.
It's a Destroyer
And
now on
Demon-
highs, which
Demon A-bombs.
I'm really bad at killing
Yeah.
that Destroyer. I thought about getting a Orb of Corruption, but I just didn't feel like it would help.
I mean, I don't think Orb on ranged heroes is your anti-air method. I mean, it's cute, but
No, I mean for the demon
all, like-
more than the Destros, but
oh yeah, that makes more sense.
either way, this is a Demon Hunter with 1 orb. I was pretty sure if I spent, or 1 gem, I was pretty sure if I spent 275 gold on an orb, even if I killed the demon, I'd still leak the A-bombs. Next wave, he'd come out with another gem and I'd just get absolutely smacked.
Also,
So I thought
I'm happy to see the micro versus the Fairy Dragons. That is always a concern. Fairy Dragons have the potential to wipe out all bears if timing takes place correctly.
Yeah, but it goes both ways. Like the bear player could also toggle to avoid it, so it's just a hassle for the bear player, but it's not actually a complete counter.
Job's done.
See, guys go for A-bombs and more. I'm not sure if he added more hippos this wave or what, but it looks like he has a bit more.
A lot of hippos
and
now, yeah.
2 A-bombs. Yeah. Which I find surprising because you don't really have air. You only have anti-air. So
My
he's
whole
building
game
anti-air against your anti-air.
my whole game plan was like, if I spend like 200 gold on hippos, his talents will basically do nothing the entire wave against my A-bombs. So my A-bombs can just completely roll his spellbreakers for free without getting any damage. While also like
I see.
taking the whole backline.
That was kind of true, and the issue for me is I'd committed to 3 Dragonhawks. I think I built another one here. I'd committed to 3 Dragonhawks, so I didn't really feel like I could afford to keep the Talons on the ground and try and ignore the hippos, because I'd lose a lot of gold in the Dragonhawks if I did that.
Also, if you saw that disease cloud damage, it's just so strong.
And Hyze is getting more destroyers now, which is going to be a problem for Epic. It's also going to be a problem for me. I don't have a way to deal with it, only the orb. And yeah, it's just looking very grim right now. And we see a worm on Corn and Wind Riders, so he's starting to go for DPS. The silver lining for our team is that, well, even if he pushes into Lemon, Lemon is equipped to deal with his air. But the bad part is I don't see a way, at least that I will come back. Because just like in the previous game, yes, I can make Talons. If I miraculously beat Yellow, I can make Talons to beat the Wind Riders and the Frostworms, but he has Gargs. So I think the air superiority battle is gone against Korn. Now I'm just like trying my best to survive against Hyze's A-bomb plus Demon Hunter army.
Yeah, I felt pretty bad every time I looked at this fight, because it's like, oh, I'm kind of leaking a lot. Yeah, you can see Hyze is able to completely clean him up here, with the exception of a couple of fairies.
Level 3 Dreadlord. Not dangerous yet, but it's getting there. And I was really surprised this game at how weak Lemon was. Like, she looked, in my eyes, the units looked perfect. Giants, Wind Riders, healing, some breakers to dispel buffs and steal them from the bears that are getting, that Korn is pushing in with. But somehow, she was losing a lot of units, and I don't know why. Maybe she needed 4 Giants for the critical mass of, like, infinite taunts. But yeah, I was very surprised. I always thought we were going to push out, and then we weren't.
And see, I've got my stuff placed all the way at the back, because I'm just trying to survive against Teal at this point. So that's a lot of Wind Riders, and I'm good at killing Wind Riders, but Wind Riders are good at killing me.
Yeah. And
So-
if we look at Graffin's army, Graffin's actually went for the 3rd gold mine. And Nicholas, or Hyze, also went for the 3rd gold mine. Do you have any insight on why you did this at this point?
I mean, basically, what our thought was going into the mixed tournament is obviously we know that mixed is like a lot more RNG than classic. In classic, we can just win by building and not playing, but on mixed, it's a lot more volatile. So our thought was just in mixed, there's never a guarantee you're actually able to like close out a game, and so mines were basically our main answer to neglecting some of the RNG that is there, because I think this game even goes on for like a long time, and just having the economic advantage in the late game, like 1.5k more gold or whatever on you, was just like the only way we saw to kind of win games that we would have lost otherwise.
I see.
But obviously we tried to play it in a way where we would only go for like 3 and 4 mines while we were still convincingly winning mid. Like we never wanted to give up mid or lose waves. But whenever we felt like we couldn't close out a game in a short amount of time, we just went for the economic approach.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a very good way to look at it. It definitely depends, though. I think this can backfire if you have strong enemy heroes. Because, let's say you have a Lich or a Shadow or something, one one wave where you have less value because of the gold mine can be the difference of a stack, and then like it doesn't really matter how much gold you have. I think in this game it was fine because we didn't have those game-breaking ultimates, we didn't have those strong heroes, so it was safe to do so.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
He says
would,
we don't
like,
have
or
those
at least,
strong
I mean,
heroes while my Keeper of the Grove
we
is on the
obviously,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
Tranquilio.
we would never like go a third mine and then like risk a stack or something, you know? Like, we only did
Yeah.
it when we were very sure that there wouldn't be a stack happening or that we would be strong enough to clean it up.
Yep. And you see just mass damage on Graffins. Honestly, he was like a big problem for us. And then Pai's army was also a big problem for us. I think Korn's army was the least troubling. Maybe that's a testament to like that Lemon's army was actually quite strong. But I think just the damage on Graf was a big issue.
I mean, it's always the thing when you have like mirror matchups, basically, with both of them having Wind Riders. Pushing in is just such an advantage, because you can never recover on the wave that is hiding the mirror matchup in a way.
Yep. And we see here second hero, Dark Ranger on ice, and no second heroes on a good time so far.
I was not happy about the Dark Ranger, by the way, when I'm
I was.
facing Mass Wind Rider. And then Spellbreakers as the only other ground unit, basically.
I was very surprised though. I thought you would mass destroyers, and I think we would have just died if you did that. I know that he has Wind Riders, but you already have the advantage in the air fight. I thought if you mass destroyers, it's gonna completely crush me. I was
thinking
really
about it.
delaying. I was really delaying my Hippogriff Riders because, like, as I said, I think I'm lost in the air against against red. So
The thing is,
yeah.
once I saw the Hippo Riders on you, I didn't really see like a reason to go to Destroyers anymore. Because I felt like if I push into you, like Talons would just do more than Destroyers, because in my opinion, Destroyers against Wind Riders with Inner Fire, they just get completely
Yeah,
crushed.
not great. Yeah.
That's why I was like, I am not like really feeling the Destroyers. And they're also not, I mean, obviously they aren't bad, especially if they can dispel, but they're also not the unit you want to build into Wind Riders. So I felt like just going more Talons is just the safer approach.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy to see less destroyers because I didn't just want to make hippos. I mean, I had to eventually, but I think destroyers in mass eventually they out DPS everything.
Yeah.
Just like how flying machines out DPS all the air with flak cannons, but you need a lot of them. It's kind of the same with destroyers.
Here
What?
we see the first
Keeper?
tranquility, so maybe there's a chance.
Yeah,
Kind
when
of
are we
memeing
getting
it.
keeper buffs,
It is a good ult,
guys?
but it's not great with my wave because my wave is fairly fragile. I'm basically just spamming Wind Riders. I think I had Griffins, which are pretty useless for me here against mass air. On both lanes I'm fighting. I'm really just trying to win the air fight, and Griffins are not helpful for that.
Looks like your main priority now is just getting rid of those destroyers.
Yeah, getting rid of the
Hunter
destroyers
tank.
and making sure I don't lose to the big Wind Rider stack from Teal. Yeah, at this point we're a very, very long way down in terms of gold from the mid control and the extra mines, so I don't know about you, I was starting to feel that.
Yeah.
I thought about trying a third gold mine
At this
myself
point, I
a
just
little bit
thought
earlier, but my role. I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't feel like my role was ever coming back.
Yeah, I had the same feeling. I think the problem is we just didn't have strong units, like to combo off each other. We didn't have strong heroes to combo off each other. Strongest was Lemon, but there's no buffs on her even for us to do anything. So yeah, I think when I saw that all of us had breakers, all of us had air, and like we're still not getting damage done. Like usually when you have your ideal setup in mixed, and you manage to like build the best army that you can possibly build, you'll find ways to stack. But in this game it felt hopeless because we had the best setups we can get and it just wasn't enough because they just had a better setup.
I think Epic was just hopelessly countered.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything Epic could have done this game.
I don't see a way out here.
I think the only
But
thing I
if
could
you
have done
remove-
differently was not try and play tier 2 and try and play tier 3 instead. Just get to tier 3 faster, A-bombs, Wind Riders, and just tried that. But I didn't really want to do that since Lemon was going fast tier 3 as well. There's a big risk of just, if two players go quick tier 3, you just get completely blown out of the game. But trying to play tier 2 certainly didn't work for me.
I
Games
think
can
if
be.
it wasn't for the
ahead.
Demon Hunter though, I think the lane would be much different. Like
Of
the
course,
role
if I
wise,
get to
think
build
was good.
ghouls, my role is pretty okay, I think.
Yeah.
I think you'll see, people will see, a lot of games can be won and lost based on the timing of their tier 3 and how long they stay into tier 2. I don't really think that's the case here, but that is a common sentiment you will see in a lot of games.
So I go for a second hero because I was thinking maybe if I get a Lich or a Panda and I can get that scaled and like one-shot all of the hippos from highs, I might have a chance to stack with this keep roll. But I got a Blood Mage, which is not the best against mass air.
Yeah.
I was very happy about that because every time you cast a Flame Strike, my talents
Talons
would
went
just go
up.
into the air.
Oh, I noticed it so many times. It was depressing. They look like
Same.
look at juicy flames, right? Never mind.
Now, look at it now. Look at it now. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's
It was
perfect
kind of
timing.
depressing.
Yeah, and actually we didn't check the second heroes, but Korn got Lich, Graf got Fartseer, and we saw the Dark Ranger, and then myself, I think I got a Fire Lord, and I don't see the second hero from Lemon.
I don't remember what
Maybe
second
it's
hero
just
she got this
doesn't
game.
have one. I think she got Dark Ranger, but I'm not sure. So yeah, now not really much to say. Like both teams have their ideal setup in units and they're just building them. Here on Graffens, he's adding a bit more Torns now to do more damage to you and to the Giants. But he's still continuing with his air DPS. Korn is just playing quite solid, like he has a stable army, good ground, good air, not a lot of buffs. And the gold advantage is slowly killing us here.
Yeah, and
like
these
they're trying
Taurens
to
were
end.
annoying for me because I ended up making a couple more A-bombs just to try and keep them off my breakers, but yeah, I'm not good at killing Taurens at all. And Taurens are pretty decent at
Yeah.
cleaning them out.
Especially since all of your talents are going to be in the air. They're not actually going to be hitting the Torrents. And one thing I was surprised with is that my Banshees were not enough to deal with Hyze's ground army. I think I have enough Banshees to possess all of his A-bombs, yet even after I do, I just wasn't able to kill the Demon Hunter fast enough.
And it's a Demon Hunter with only 2 gems this whole game. That was so depressing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even make him stack it. It's just completely unkillable with, like, half the investment it could have.
Yeah, I mean, in the early game, I was quite happy to see Korn messing bears actually, because I thought, okay, he's just gonna die to Banshee later on, and then Demon Hunter said hello.
Mm.
And that wasn't an option anymore.
I had that feeling as well. Like if you got an even fight versus Korn, you'd be looking pretty good. But I definitely didn't give you one of those.
Nope. Can't win them all.
Did Dreadlord not ult? He didn't.
Nah, he didn't for some reason. I remember Korn molding about that.
That's very annoying.
Have you got silenced by this ranger? Not sure.
And here we see the best ult in the game, Tranquility.
It's honestly putting in some work for me.
Yeah, it's really good.
I am only just killing these heroes now.
Yeah, it's getting from bad to worse to there's no way to come back from this.
See the first good flame strike ever.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And yeah, Korn ends up buying the endurance aura as well here, which makes a lot of sense. And obviously, as a team, they're pretty rich, and it can help close out the game.
Yeah, our team was behind on upgrades. Graph was 3-1 for a very long time, and Korn just got 3-2 right now. And Graph is 3-2 as well. Compared to my like 1-2 and Lemon's 2-2, and I don't really see your upgrades, but I don't think you're 3-3 at the moment.
I think I might be 2-2.
Yeah.
I think the game's gonna come closer to an end once Lich hits level 6.
Yeah, I'm 2-2.
Good death and decay with Dreadlord's ult. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, and this is really, it felt really depressing at this point because there was just nothing to do. Like in other games, you're playing catch up, you know? You have a bad setup and you're trying to fix it. But in this game, everyone just had the best units they can build, and it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, and like sometimes you feel like there's a win condition, like, oh, if I can just get a Shadow Hunter to 6, if I can just get a bunch of Necros to stack. This game was like,
Yeah.
kind of just waiting to die.
Yep. And now with the movement speed aura on Korn, I think that's gonna be done very quickly.
And we see highs with Lich for the third hero.
Yeah, just to screw in the...
Just to
Oh,
rub
wait.
it in a little more.
Yep. And Dark Rangers are now starting to be really scary with Charm, actually. This was a big deal against the Giants. We didn't really see that, but yeah, now it's gonna be 2-1. A very one-sided game in my opinion. But we have a couple more games to show you guys.
Yeah. So you can say I'm like saying my bad at the end. I didn't want to say it during the game because I didn't want to tilt everyone. But I was like, I was pretty happy saying that, like, yeah, this game was on me. I leaked the entirety of yellow from about minute 1 to minute 30. So, yeah, whoops.
Yeah, I wasn't really tilted at that point because I knew that you didn't have much options. I think one aspect that teams don't think about, which I really liked it in our team, is that you really need to have positive mindsets. Like, bad things are going to happen, regardless of if you're playing well, if you have bad rolls, good rolls, you're going to mess up. You're going to lose some wave, and just not being like extremely toxic to your team can be the difference between them doing the right decision or not. So you wanna help them rather than play against them.
Yeah, you
I'm
only
at
have
a-
so much control until the game kind of takes over. I don't think there were
Yeah.
any drastic mistakes made or anything like that. It's just you did the best, did the best that you could do, and that's kind of about it.
I'm at 20 seconds in this next game.
Give me 1 moment, just loading it.
Yeah, all good. But yeah, and realistically for us as well, if we were down 0-2 and we just played that game, yeah, that might have crushed the mental a bit. But we were up 2 wins, which I think made it a lot easier to just go like, you know what, I got stomped by a demon hunter. Like it kind of happens. I think it's happened to everyone a few times. Like, oh well, it's 1 loss. It doesn't feel too bad when it's 1 loss, first loss. It feels kind of bad when it's 1 loss and it's like your 3rd loss.
Yep. Alright, I'm at 20 seconds, ready when you are.
3, 2, 1. And here we go into game 4 between A Good Time and the High Council. Holy crap, that's a lot of chat in the pause. We are yapping, aren't we? Yeah, so currently 2-1 for A Good Time, 2 wins, and High Council on 1 win after that pretty decisive last game.
I don't know if people caught that last chat, but I think I had a very iconic role. You can't see it right now, but we can just say it. I had the worm, giant, and siege engine. Just funny enough, I didn't actually build them. I only built worms this game, but yeah, from the start of the game, I was just worried that I would lose the early game. And seeing grunts on lemon was a big relief, and seeing goals on corn was also a big relief. I was really worried if corn had grunts.
At this point, we were getting a bit sad because it's the 4th game now, and we haven't had a single grunt in 4 games across 3 lanes. Which was a bit sad.
Depressing.
That is a bit depressing at this point.
Not sure if I got grunts this series either, but yeah, I was at least. I had mates with grunts, and I didn't have footmen very much. I think this is the first game I played with footmen.
And lane 2, we see grunt versus hunt. Should be a win for the grunts for the foreseeable future, unless something really bad happens.
Yeah, like what kind of triggered us was a lot of our strategy, especially with going 3 and 4 mines to ensure better economy in the late game, was that you kind of need to not get stomped in the early game, which a lot of times just happen, because if you have 3 lanes that never have a grunt, it's just very hard to actually win an early game, in my opinion. Luckily I got Tinker here, to be honest. This Tinker just completely carried me.
Yeah, I saw the Tinker here with my like Dreadlord, Footman, and low damage roll. I don't know if you picked it up in the chat, but I believe I said like my damage kind of sucks, but I didn't want to force a reroll. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
crap! Like I'm not playing Footman into Tinker, so I think I go ahead and just tech and say, fuck it, I'm not playing that. So I could build like 50 footmen and still probably wouldn't kill your Tinker.
The issue is, I had the same issue. If you look at my roll, the first thing I said when seeing this roll, I kind of wanted to reroll this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you have no damage in your whole roll.
I have no damage. I do absolutely
crap, you have
zero
no
damage.
And then the only thing you can do is bears, maybe, but that's it.
Yes,
that's about it.
That's what I did. But that's why I said, like, when this game started, I went, guys, I have absolutely no damage. You need to carry me. I can't do anything. And then I rolled a Tinker, which obviously is a nice early game hero, but if there's one hero in the game that doesn't do a single bit of damage,
it's the Tinker.
Like, normally I would say, oh yeah, nice, I get a Tinker, but in this game I was like, fuck, I have a Tinker.
Yeah, so I end up just building nothing this wave. I was thinking about making a gargoyle to just try and be annoying, but ended up not doing it because I thought I don't know what I thought. Thought you might have figured like, hey, I have a Tinker, I'm gonna crush him early game. I might like play safe against a air unit. And I didn't want to like build a Garg and then have you build anti-air and then I'd just like tech and go more air.
Well, it's funny you say that because that's exactly what I'm doing on lane 1.
I mean, I was thinking that you are going air at this point.
Yeah.
And lane 1 here, it's I'm gonna be losing for a while, but I'm always happy with this. Is a I have a opinion on people going hero with orb against a tier 3 tech. I don't think it's that good, just for the reason that if your enemy has worms, they're gonna out DPS any W unit you have. And you're just waiting to die. So when someone invests that much into tier 1 units, hero, orb, it's almost like I got my tier 3 for free than if they just went tier 2 and made like, I don't know, Dragonhawk or Garg or any anti-air unit. So I was happy to see this because as you see here, I was going for my worms. This was the game plan from the start.
This game, Lemon, and it's worth saying Lemon was a little bit ill this series. She kind of just wanted to go to bed. So I think this is the game where she was just like, fuck it, we're ending this quick, and just ends up just murdering multiple waves at a time.
Yeah. Lemon was not in good physical condition today, but somehow it didn't translate to the game. She was carrying us.
Anyway, so I go double Destroyer here. I think I had Destroyer or Griffin I was choosing between, and I thought, well, he's got summons, he's got a bear, so there's going to be some spells I can eat. I'll just get the Destroyer. Not really sure if that was correct, but it's what I went for.
I think Destroyers are one of the strongest units in Mixed.
See, Korn gets 10 gold.
Stonks.
Man, you know,
And
it's up to the
MK
casters to catch
yeah.
these important things. Yeah, this worm leaking
Every
is
bit of
super
gold
annoying.
counts.
Even if it doesn't do
Yeah,
any lasting damage, like this split is incredibly meaningful. These grunts, instead of getting heavily damaged by the walkers, are just free.
Yeah, and I mean they would dispel the roar as well. That's huge. I know he doesn't have dispel right now, but it's a big deal to have Grunt Bear. You have so much DPS in the early to mid game.
I was very happy to see these tanks here because I went into Tauren. I went into 2 Gargs because I thought he might go air versus the Destroyers. That's a pretty normal counter to Destroyers, like Wind Rider, Hippogriff Rider sort of thing. So I did get a couple of Gargs for those, and I got a Tauren to have a bit more frontline. I see the tank, and I was happy to see that because I hadn't really committed to air yet, and I felt like it was something I could actually handle with my role.
I was really sad seeing the turn, because I looked at my roll and I realized I have absolutely 0 magic damage. I have absolutely nothing that does damage at all, and Torn are gonna completely destroy me.
Yeah, normally I don't like Tauren without buffs, but Tauren without buffs are pretty good when they're just against nothing that can handle them. You can say, I just got rid of my gargoyles here. I was like, I'm playing against tanks. The gargs are going to do nothing. Don't even want to spend money on the upgrade or just sell them. Korn almost got gold there, but they cancelled their attack animation. Pretty unlucky.
Wow, twice.
That would have been like 10% of a mine already. Damn.
Oh, 100%. And what, like
And
8% of
wave.
your 4th mine?
Here we see the first real 1v1 between Lemon and Graph. Like, you see the army on Graph is just so much stronger. But MK is surviving, so I was happy to see that the MK was living. Like, okay, he's gonna die now, but he's stalling long enough. But I was a bit worried because in my mind, the Grunt Dryad combo was the early game / mid game carry, and they were losing. That wasn't a good, you know, good prediction to what's gonna happen. And you were not worried about the tanks. I was very worried. I didn't have faith in the Torrents, like, at all. But somehow you made it work. I think Dreadlord Vampiric Aura was a big deal here. If you didn't have Dreadlord, I think the Torrents would lose much harder.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy to see the tanks. It was more to the point where if it was Wind Riders or something, I basically didn't have an answer to that. I'd have to be massing Gargs, which is doable, but is weak to a lot of things.
Yeah. And right now, the early to mid game army of Khorne is actually doing pretty well against my army. I have just hit the critical mass of 4 worms. But I was also fighting a stack, so I wasn't too bad about it, but you know, it feels like he's getting away with eating my air, where in my mind I don't think he should have. And
he
now,
also got
again,
50
it's gonna be
gold.
the lane 2 fight. Yeah, he also got some gold. And yeah, lane 2 here, I thought, given the last wave, Lemon is gonna get crushed, yet somehow this wave, Lemon is doing better. I don't know. I don't get it. When I think Lemon is gonna die, she carries. When I think she carries, she dies.
We had the exact same reaction. We were like, "What? You just crushed her? Why did she lose?"
Yeah, this is kind of crazy,
I
and it
was
wasn't
just,
like
I was just sad.
it wasn't close either. That was a stomp. There is a lot left over.
I was just very sad in this game because I think in 4 games this is the 3rd time I rolled Demolisher, and I was like, if I had anything but Demolisher here, I was thinking that I would completely stomp you.
Oh yeah, I couldn't handle Chimeras, Griffins, or Frostworms.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, if I had anything else but a Demolisher here, I think
This-
the lane would have looked a
And
lot
actually,
different.
this
but-
was the game where I was thinking like, okay, you must have Demolisher, otherwise I would have been like fucking
Yeah.
blown out of the game already.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like in these 4 games up until now I had 3 Demolishers. Did not feel the best.
I think that might have been.
I had
in
one
the
worm.
case.
I had 1 worm, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I see stonks.
Yep, Frank
And
got
I
40
see
gold here. So
I mean,
this was the
is
real
basically
battle.
This is basically a 3rd mine, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect that I would be as strong as I am at this point in the game. Like, again, the game is almost over. Like, there's no way to kill the worms, even though when I went for the worms, I wasn't planning to finish it quickly. I just thought I don't have any other choice.
Can you take a look at Harvey's army right now? Cormy's army?
Yeah, he was the tier 2 anti-air life enjoyer.
Yeah,
You know?
I think his anti-air this game was just very bad, if I'm not mistaken.
Again.
I think he messed up. Like, he did too many different decisions. He made
Probably,
hero with
yeah.
orb. He made rifle this. Like, if he just stuck with one, I think he would have been fine.
I think maybe it was just mass hippo from the very start.
Yeah, which I
But I
didn't get to show it, but I
think-
actually did have C-Gen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well,
But you-
I think
but-
I think it's
but
very
he had
tough.
raiders as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
I
hippo
just
was
think it was very tough for him as well because he had like weak anti-air options, as I would call them. You know, like nothing that's like very oppressive against air, and both of his lanes were completely getting stomped at this point in the game.
Yeah.
Like I was not winning against Epic in a 1v1 anymore. Graffins had no chance of winning in a 1v1 against Lemon anymore, and then he was there like having to pull a miracle with weak anti-air. I don't think he like had any realistic chance of beating you in that lane.
Honestly,
Alright, so
this one, at
that's-
least for you, came down to rolls because that Tinker like really forced me to play out of tier 1, tier 2. and I would have gotten smacked by a good tier 3 damage unit.
Yeah.
However, Demolisher is not a good tier 3 damage unit.
To say the least.
No. And I think this is now where we did our reroll.
And
Because
I'll let you know in a spoiler,
Like,
if you didn't reroll that, I
Yeah?
think we were rerolling that.
Yeah, we
Yeah?
were re-rolling, I think.
Ah.
Wait, I think I clicked the re-roll game. Give me one moment.
yeah, because I don't know, our shit was completely unplayable on that reroll game. And well, you will see what happens afterwards.
So just give me one moment.
All good, I'm just loading the replay up myself.
Yeah, just re-roll. We were very happy about that one.
I'm paused at 20 seconds in the 5th game.
So now we just rerolled, right? So we
Yeah,
launched the game after
Yeah.
we just rerolled. Now take a look. I can just tell you.
Just give me.
I
I'm
mean, you can't see
22 seconds now.
sadly, but you will see some demolishers.
Uh-oh.
22
Oh,
seconds,
no.
we're looking. There is a Demolisher. Oh, you have a Frostworm this time, Highs.
Yeah, this time I was actually happy. I was like, oh, guys, good we rerolled. I actually got a good roll. And my team was like, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we are gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah.
completely crushed. We are
Your
gonna
roll-
get completely crushed.
Your roll is quite
My
good.
roll was very nice.
Grunt,
My roll was
Banshee,
very
Necro,
nice.
Talon.
That is
I
a
was very
very
happy.
strong roll.
I was insanely happy about that roll. I was like, when I saw my roll, I was like, dude, this is amazing. And then I looked at my team, and I was like, fuck, this is not amazing.
No, I'm at 22 seconds, so when you're ready, let me know.
Because I think you can't see Korn's roll, obviously, but I think Korn had a weaker roll than Graph's.
Even
The
for
Graph's roll
Graph,
by itself.
considering the
hate Graph's
Demolishers
roll.
and Meat Wagon, yeah, it's still not terrible. There, you definitely could have had much worse rolls than this. Even with 2 Siege, I mean, this is unfortunate, but you still have some wiggle room here.
I agree, it's
Yeah,
not
that
great,
is-
but it's playable. It's definitely playable.
It is playable, but it was not what
Alright,
you want to see after re-rolling a bad roll.
Oh, for sure. Alright, ready?
I'm ready when you are.
3,
Yeah, 23
2,
seconds.
1. Alright, so this is game 5 of the grand finals. The High Council versus A Good Time. Currently 3-1, A Good Time up 3 games against 1. So you're going to see Footman, Zero Mine, same opener as in the first game, I think, from Korn on red here. And Ghoul, Zero Mine from Frank. This is the same as the game 1 opener, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, but also we were really happy because this is now game 6, I think. Yeah, this is game 6, like counting the remake because we obviously remade and didn't have any grunts. So this is the 6th game, and this is the first time we got a single grunt.
Hell yeah.
The chances of getting a single grunt lane in 6 games must be very low, I think. At this point, we weren't even tilted, you know. It wasn't like we were tilted or anything. We were just like, holy shit. Can I please get a grunt?
Yeah, Lemon, I think, probably had Dryads. She was scared of grunts here. I was thinking, like,
Actually, do you have any insight on this 3-footman play by Korn? Because I don't get it, like, at all.
I don't have any insight on that.
Because he loses to the full gold spent. Like, if you do 2 grunts, he loses. 2 hunts, he loses. The golds, he loses. He shows me that he has a footman. I really didn't understand why he was doing this. Like, if he wants at least get a hero, he would get 2. So,
I can not tell you.
I want to point
I
out,
don't
this
know.
happened
This-
again in the Huntress Mirror.
yeah, this happened twice. Yeah.
That's like a little skill issue.
Skill issue, yeah.
But yeah, again, you can see Frank starts, no mine, ghouls, gets middle early, and it lets me get 4 Huntress out wave 1, which I'm a big fan of that. Or I should say, I really hate 3 hunts, I'll say it quickly again, because 3 hunts loses to a lot of hero plus Q. 4 hunts, I think, is beating every hero plus Q, maybe not Beastmaster.
Maybe not Tinker.
Hmm.
Yeah, true. Tinker is a bit grim.
Yeah, this point it was kind of interesting. I saw one Garg and I just channeled my inner Moon Turtle. I thought, okay, this is not my problem. I, if I try to deal with this one Garg, I'll lose a lot of tempo in winning the ground, and I know that, like the time when I saw Lemon got Alchemist, I was just like, okay, it's fine. I can leak the Garg. Just gonna give Alchemist a couple of levels. Sure,
Oh,
it
this
might
was the
split.
Alchemist game.
Yeah, and funnily enough, I think me leaking the Garg saved Lemon in her lane because you'll see now every time the Alchemist was behind the Huntress, Lemon won the lane. Every time I didn't leak the Garg and Alchemist was in front, he died and she almost lost the lane. So that's very funny to watch.
I was getting very mad at my grunts being poison bombed.
Oh, this one I think was the. I was impressed with this one.
Yeah, this was perfect. Clutch timing.
So we see the 4 health alchemist,
Yeah.
It's coming.
and then just goes
that.
like, "Yep,
It's
you're gonna
coming.
lose this fight."
I'm looking away. I'm looking away. I don't want to see it again. Wow, amazing. I was like, yeah, awesome. Let's go.
That's wild.
And I also rolled a fucking bottom. I was not
Yeah, I
happy.
saw that bottom. I was really happy to see that.
I'm very happy for you, lad.
As soon as I saw that, I did think
Uh,
about just going straight for a second mine, but I was like, "It's Grunt, probably shouldn't."
And here we see the classic Beastmaster against Pitlord on lane 1. I don't know how I won this. I think he just didn't commit to his E key and didn't commit to Footman, which I understand. I wouldn't commit to Footman, but I don't know. It felt like a robbery to win this lane against Beastmaster, but once you have that many goals,
I think he had Riot. Oh no, wait, no, he didn't have Riot. What did he have? I think he
I'm
had
not
Sorg.
sure.
I think he had Sorg. I'm very sure he had
Yeah,
Sorg.
I think he had to make some of them. He opted for Necros, which, in my opinion, Necromancer on tier 2 is very bad. Like, the only reason you would get them is if you want Frenzy. And sure, you can say the Bear from Beastmaster is a high tier unit, so it's gonna get targeted by Frenzy, but building the Necros, as you see now, he's doing it just to stack. I think it's very bad. You either wait to tier 3 and get them, or you get them just above 1 unit with Frenzy. But, yeah. I don't think I should have been winning this lane against Beastmaster.
I mean, she's winning this lane without even getting Acid Bomb on the hunts, too. So just imagine how much stronger this win would be.
We see once again, Heise gets a little present from that alchemist. So I've got a couple of shaman now. They are adept, but I'm going to be toggling a little bit here.
Yeah,
'Cause
this is
I was-
where one of our weaknesses starts to show across all 3 lanes. I think we have one display unit that is Destroyer on lane 2.
Yeah, so you can see Corn's turned off his bear, and I've turned off my purge, because I want to kill that bear if he summons it. But he does a good job. He waits until the shamans are dead and gets it out. So that was good by him. But that was my plan with the shamans. Is I was scared for your lane with that Beastmaster, so I wanted to try and at least deny the double summon with a couple of shaman. But he was wise to it, so good.
Yeah,
Good
the
on him for
double
that.
Yeah, the toggling war is kind of big. The double summon can decide the wave. I think one thing we did pretty well is that we managed the wave like aggro. We weren't like stacking on their tower, building when like that you building that one wave is gonna cause the team to stack on you. You know, toggling healing off under a tower. I think these were very important. And we saw a lot of really good heroes. Like Death Knight was almost in every game. And it didn't end like it ends in Classic, where, okay, like initially, if you got mixed games and someone has Death Knight, that's it. You just wait until he's 5 and game's over. But in these games, everyone had good heroes and they didn't end in the same way that they usually do. And we see the Zug Zug. No Acid Bomb this time.
I was finally not getting bombed. Finally had a little
Yeah.
chance.
At this point, I have got Sea Witch, which is a pretty decent hero. I was fairly happy to see it. I'm a big fan of going for like the Mana Shield, Mantle, maybe Dark Orb build, but I did just go Fork Lightning this game because I felt like I could just win if I went Fork Lightning. Didn't need to try and be silly using the Sea Witch.
Yeah.
Especially against
Yeah,
Grunts.
no need to be fancy here.
I remember I
think
played
here
a
I
mixed.
teched for.
You go.
Wait, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say I
No,
played
just
a.
say I teched for priest.
Jeez, this is embarrassing. Say your thing. Go on.
Yeah, that's it. I just text for priest. That's it.
Okay, you tech for priest. I was gonna say I played a mixed game with Saken a while ago. All three of us went got Naga first, and all three of us did the like Dark Orb robes build. It was disgusting.
Oh no. I think there was a player, Zerwa. Yeah, I think he loves this. He loves this his build. He was just going Naga and just Orb of Darkness.
I always
I
said the
think this is the
Garg's
point.
leaking
I
over.
think this is the point where we called the game kind of GG. Because I think you had double Priest Shaman. And we had no Dispel on our team.
Mm.
Yeah, this is the second Priest Shaman lane. That's just double Priest Shaman is so fucking good.
But why were you not messing Banshee anti-magic shield here?
I don't think it does anything. What does it do?
It blocks the lightning shield?
I don't. Maybe I should have. I didn't think it mattered that much.
Because Banshee beats all the tier 1 casters. Other than Dryad, of course, but... But, I mean, it was still... You need to invest into it, and then the hunts would do damage, so...
Yeah, that
It win
was
the
my thought
lane,
process. I mean, it was like
but I think it was a good
Yeah.
try.
you had two shamans, I think, and I would have to like build 3 banshees plus the upgrade just to neglect it. I felt like I had more serious issues at hand. I just wanted to get more archers out to kill the hunts.
Yeah. And here we see mask arcs from Graffins. Oh, I remember this game now. Okay, yeah.
I think just the biggest issue is the priest shaman just destroying corn is making it a bit difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is another reason why I think the Necromancer in tier 2 is just a bad idea, because you're not strong against anything. Like, if the enemy has a strong melee hero, your Necros are not doing much. If the enemy has this build, it's not doing much. If he has air, they're not doing much. So, I don't know his role, but I
I mean,
would
his
rather
only
him
option
wait.
his only option was Sorcerer's Swim, which
Yeah, but
in my opinion is even worse.
yeah. Then I think he should just text tier 3, because
He had
I've
nothing
seen
until
this so
3.
many games.
He had
Oh,
nothing.
no.
He had nothing until 3. It was completely garbage. It was unplayable to 3. It was Demolisher, and then I don't even know what was on this. Was it Hippo Rider? No,
Like
I'm
Night
not
Hippo
even sure
Rider
what
if it was unplayable.
No, I don't remember what it was, but it was not Destro. I don't know what it was, but it was. I think it was Night something. Night something Demolisher or something.
Also worth noting, Beastmaster just got level 2.
Yeah.
So,
I was pretty happy
11
with
and a half
my
minutes.
Pit Lord.
Yeah, if your Pit Lord is out leveling the Beastmaster, something's going well for you.
Yep.
Oh, I think he actually had
Hey.
tanks. Yeah, I think he had tanks, but like there was absolutely no reason to build tanks into Pit Lord Mazgul. So I think it was like
I
something
see.
like it was Knight, Siege Engine, Demolisher. So I don't think there's anything on tier 3 for him to build into your role.
Yeah,
this
that's
point.
kind of rough.
These
Yeah, and lane
headhunters
2 here.
are
Yeah,
actually
I
doing
was just gonna
something.
say the headhunters. I was so impressed. There was one wave where Lemon got the. Yeah, this is it. I was telling her she could do flying machines so that the Gargs would just be ineffective, but she's like, no. She has a plan, and I didn't think it was gonna work, but the Necro fight with the Skeleton Mage and the Frenzy on the Headhunters actually carried the wave, and it didn't do that well into the Grunts the next wave, but I don't know. I was very impressed with this Necro summon next wave.
Got a couple of Dragonhawks on my lane, not because they were good, but because I looked at my lane before I built them and was like, wow, I get cleaned by like one Garg at the top of the line. It's like, I'm just going to build a couple of preemptive Dragonhawks, make it really hard for him to get into some air.
Yeah, and here I see a tank on Corn. I was not worried at all because I already had the ghouls, so I didn't have to build another unit to counter them. I was worried though that I'm not killing him in time.
Had realistically any chance of beating you with this roll?
Yeah, I did have the Holy Trinity, Priest, Shaman, Necro.
Yeah, and then
So
the
strong.
worm, and then the Pit Lord on top, so he can't even like build any. Yeah, I just don't think he had anything to do there.
I think, unironically, maybe he should have played with heroes, like, just tried his luck with a early hero, and then after that, once Beastmaster is level 3, assuming that he had gotten the Beastmaster if he played it early, then get a second hero and just try to...
Yeah, but
Try to do
you obviously
something from there.
you obviously don't know your opponent's role at this point, right? And the big issue was also his Beastmaster was stuck on level 1 for ages. Like, I think it's still level 2 now, no?
Yeah, it's still level
yeah,
2.
Yeah.
almost 3, yeah.
This was a really
But, like, at
nasty
this
stack
point-
here, because this was my
At
tier
this
3
point, it's
timing.
already too far gone.
Yeah, this is my tier 3 timing, which is Inner Fire and Bloodlust.
Wait, what did you talk about, Frank? What do you want to nerf?
Oh, which one?
Necro.
I said
I
I
don't
wanted to
know.
buff the... Oh yeah, Necro was... Because in mixed games like this, so like... The only reason, I don't want to get too much into it, but like the main reason no Dispel is kind of a big problem is if the enemy has Necros and you have no Dispel, it's just, the game's over. So I think the Skeleton Mages really need a solution to where they don't just win the game outright, but at the same time they're still strong. And I'm surprised that no one mentioned this at all, but I think it's something that we need to look into.
I mean, we kind of adjusted the units so you have Dispel in every row, no? So it's kind of not as bad as before. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think that it's gonna be as good as people think, even though I think it's gonna be better, but I think right now from this tournament, the biggest difference was never the units. It was always the heroes. Which kind of makes me feel that the unit setup is fair. It's just
I think it was
you
units a lot as well in this tournament.
You are talking
think
to
it
the
was
man
Unity.
with like 4 demolishers.
I mean,
There's
Sure,
probably a couple
like, I
of
think-
outliers.
I think unit, like mainly like stuff like Dispel, Statue, and tier 3 ranged magic units was like huge different makers, as well as grunts. I think that's like the 4 units. It's grunts, Statue, magic damage on tier 2 with Dispel, and then the
Demolisher
Worm
or
Chimera slot.
Demolisher
I
or
think those
real
are-
unit.
Yes, I think those are the few.
Demolisher or real unit, yeah.
I think those are the 4 slots that make the difference.
And the other two I'd sort of bring up are like Banshee and Destroyer can be really hard to deal with.
Yeah, but I
Depending
feel
on
like
rolls.
the compensation you get on these slots is a lot better. Like if
Yeah,
you get
that's true.
Statue, for example, nothing comes close to the Statue on the slot, you know? Or if you get
What do you mean?
Worm
I'm
Chimp-
missing out on Mortar Team.
Yeah,
Good.
exactly. Or like if you get Grunt,
Good.
if you get Grunt, nothing else really comes close. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But if you get a Banshee, you're missing out on Dryad. You're missing out on Shaman with Bloodlust. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
And then
like you don't have
Destroy
Banshee, but at
obviously,
least you have good
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And obviously Destroyer is very strong with Wind Rider or Hippo Rider, you know, or Siege Engine. It's not like you see a Siege Engine or a Wind Rider and you go like, oh, I'm sad I got a Wind Rider.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
feel
for
like
sure.
even though the units are obviously stronger, it's not like you don't get any compensation in return in these slots.
That's true.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think I agree with the units being like overpowered in their own slots, but given how the games are going, I think that heroes are significantly more important.
Speaking of, we're
Like,
now looking at my third Lich of the tournament, of the series
I hate
rather.
you so much. I hate you so much.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think if we have more balanced heroes, the game is gonna be a lot more even. At the moment, if you roll a bad hero into a good hero, there's almost no comeback, regardless of what units you have. So, yeah, that's just my opinion.
Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure Lemon has like a bucket on a lap just vomiting into it this whole series.
Oh yeah.
That's commitment right there.
Yep.
And yet she's still fucking just hard carrying. I was pretty impressed. Because I was losing that early game if not for those acid bombs. Even despite the priestess being pretty weak.
Yeah, the headhunters, necros are carrying, even though Graf has necros and destroyers himself and Gargs, they just can't deal with the headhunters.
A lot of necros this game.
Which makes you think maybe he should have just went knights, but I mean, it's suicide to go knights into necros, so I understand his decision.
And I managed to start
See.
Chimera here and just looking to get a couple of little taps on the fortress every time. Obviously Khorne's all the way
Yeah.
back, which makes sense to try and stack or do anything, but that's too much damage.
Yeah, Lemon really didn't leave any units for you to fight, so the best solution is to get siege, and what's better than Chimera with siege, you know?
Oh, by the way, Frank, Harvey said 3 footmen is a timing that lets you hero on second with no mine, but you need to cross mid once.
I see. Okay, so you'd skip the mine. Interesting.
This 18 health fortress is a bit of a tease. I was like, there was nothing about this game that said we were going to lose, but just that 18 health fortress made me feel like we might just lose this game.
Seen
Yeah,
it
when
happen
when you
before.
see Death Knight, he's level 5.
Yep.
You think
I-
Death
I-
and
I
Decay is
was-
coming, and yeah.
I was not worried for you. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, honestly, my lane could have went either way with him stacking. Third lane could have went either way, but Lemon just...
I don't think Harvey could have
crushed
ever won
the lane.
against you.
Not one, but he could have delayed. I wasn't killing him in time. And if his necro stacked, it might have been a problem. I mean, sure, second lane also has
Look at that
necros, so
acid
Lemon
bomb,
is
oh my
well
god.
equipped to deal with it, but I was worried for that.
This ended
And
up being a pretty
Starfall,
good endurance timing for me as well. So I really just wanted to close that game out. Because obviously one tap from the Chimera is enough. Managed to get it done.
And it's over.
Yes.
And that's that.
GG's.
It's a series.
Lemon carrying pretty hard in this last game, and overall, games were pretty fun to play. What do you guys think? How did the games go?
I'm very happy they were fun to play for you. I can tell you. I can tell you. I mean, it wasn't that fun to play. Like the first 2 to 3 games, I think were very fun for us. But after the first 2 to 3 games, came a time where we looked at our roles at the start of the game, and we were like, "Oh, this is how it's gonna go."
You end up watching the game that knocked us into the loser bracket, the game 5 versus Gertie's team.
Of course.
Yeah, that was the most disgusting hero diff
Yeah.
game I've ever played. What was it?
Yeah.
I think it was like TC Shadow Lich versus Blade Master,
Yep.
Keeper,
Basically,
Blood
basically
Mage.
the first game. Basically the first game we played. Okay, the first game we played wasn't a diff, but
Yeah,
I get what you
basically.
I mean,
mean.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's why we just hate mixed so much.
I mean, I think it was super fun.
I mean, it was a very fun journey.
Yeah.
I will say this tournament basically just furthered my opinions on mixed, so I do not have much else to add. It is a
I mean-
game very much out in the open, and anything goes. You never know what's gonna come next.
Yeah, I really like it. I think you can get shut down pretty hard sometimes without a lot of recompense, but I do think just generally not knowing what you're going to get or not knowing what your opponent has, I do think that adds a lot of fun to it.
I think the
So
like,
I think
for
the
example,
feels bad experiences can feel pretty bad at the moment, but I think there's a lot of fun in just seeing what
yeah,
you get.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think in general, it's fun seeing it how you get, but obviously in like I mean, you probably know this from your loss against the Gertie team, that like in a competitive environment in mixed, when you're getting like horrific rolls or horrific heroes, it just sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I have a slightly different perspective. I think in the tournament we saw teams, like for example, your team really went through the final like in a very smooth way, which I assume you had bad rolls throughout, but there's a lot of room for outplaying your opponent. Sure, when both teams are like equally skilled,
Yes, that's what
there's
we said
less.
as well.
It's like the RNG is kind of more.
That was our big
uh,
thinking process,
obvious.
like us going like the stuff we made up to like compensate the RNG, for example, the mines and all the individual just micro things like microing summons of Under Tower, microing statue of Under Tower, and all of these little things that we did. Like, it's good enough to beat people that aren't as well prepared for the games, but we were always aware that once we get into finals or grand finals, the games are going to be a lot more volatile. And like, that's just how I feel the game is. The closer or the higher the skill level goes between both of the teams, the smaller the difference that individual gameplay gets.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I
and
To a
think-
point where there's only so much you can do.
I think 2 of our
Yeah,
wins
this
and
is-
and your win as well, 3 of the games were like very one-sided. It's just advantage was gained early, and it
Yeah,
You-
I think
there was just no
throughout
sort of
the
comeback.
series, yes. I think there was like throughout the series there was like 2 games that could have potentially been decided by gameplay changes. I'm not sure if it's really 2 games. 1 game for sure. 1 game I'm very sure. 2nd game maybe. But yeah, I agree. I think 3 games were just basically
Yeah.
the team sees
And,
you compare you see your roles, you see the enemy roles, and it's like set in stone from minute 1. The game you lost was obvious
Yeah.
from minute 1 that you would
I don't want to
lose.
say like they were unplayable or there were no options, but like once you sort of locked into an option
Yes,
in those
exactly.
games, it's like once you locked yourself into like, hey, I'm starting with a hero, and it's like, oh crap, I got Keeper versus Demon Hunter. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is exactly my point. Is that I think most of the games were not decided by the role difference rather than the hero difference. So even let's say the games that you had Demolisher, if you had rolled Beastmaster every single one of those games, like, it was gonna be playable. And
I'm not sure.
throughout
I'm
the
not sure.
tournament,
I think the tier 3, like the worm chim slot, actually makes a huge difference. I think
For
that's
sure.
like. I mean, I'm not saying that heroes obviously if we roll
I mean,
Shadow
okay,
Hunter,
I'm gonna be
TCPs
honest. Yeah, Shadow TC Lich. Come on, this. I don't like. I see what you're saying, but the road to reach the tier 3 unit, so much can happen. Like,
Yeah, of
the enemy
course,
can
of
stack
course.
Gargs. Like, he can stack with priest statue. Like there's so much options that you can do, but when you have just this 500 gold wasted into keeper and then 500 gold into like demon hunter, I mean, there's not much to do. So
Yeah, of course.
to me, if this part is adjusted, I think the games are gonna be way more competitive in terms of gameplay rather than RNG.
I mean, I actually forgot.
that's
Are
just my
we
2
swapping the Demolisher?
Yeah.
Okay, I really like that. I really like that. Because I feel like in a lot of these games, even though obviously there's multiple things that affect the game, it's just not having a magic unit on this tier 3 slot, and you're just getting completely crushed by some melee cleave or whatever. Oh, I hated it.
It's not that bad if you have like maybe Banshee, Walker, or Talon,
Talon,
but sometimes
yeah.
you just really, or even Destroyer to an extent, but
or
sometimes,
Lich. Or
yeah,
Lich.
or Lich.
Or Lich. I mean, Epic definitely had no issues with that, did he?
So many literals.
Yeah, 3 Liches in
Yeah.
one series is pretty
I just
fucking
think
lucky, I'll be honest.
the units just have a way bigger impact once the hero rolls aren't insane. You know, like for example, the first game, the units probably didn't have as much of an impact just because the heroes were so strong. But in 1 or 2 of the games we had, where both teams were kind of rolling like Naga against Archmage or whatever, it's like suddenly the units just have a huge impact.
So actually, in that, do you think that it's the path forward is to bridge that all heroes become decent, or is it that all units become like equivalent in strength within the role?
I think just
I'm leaning
being,
more
I
towards the
think the
heroes,
sort of
actually.
hero choice option is a big deal because I don't
Agreed.
think there are many heroes that are just like kind of bad. I think there are a couple,
Yes, I agree.
but I think there are a lot of heroes that are like really bad in certain spots. So it's like, oh,
Yes,
great,
I
it's 33
actually-
minutes and I
yes.
got a tinker.
Exactly.
Hooray.
I completely agree. I
Yeah.
think the hero balancing right now, aside from a few hiccups, obviously like movement speed, aura, or beastmaster summons or so, I think generally the heroes are in a very good spot, and usually every single hero has a spot in the game, if you know what I mean. There's not a single hero that's straight up bad. There's a situation for every single hero to be good. The issue is just you cannot control when you get what hero.
If
Which
you
makes
get
it
it at the wrong time,
all the
that's
time.
the
Like
game
sometimes
decider. Yeah.
the game went 30 minutes, you get a Beastmaster, it's the strongest hero in the game, and you're like, fuck, I got a Beastmaster.
Yep.
What do I do now? It's fucking dog shit. I just wasted 500 gold basically.
Yeah, I don't
That's
I
the
don't
big
think
issue.
I don't think it should be like, oh, it's 30 minutes, time to get a TC. But you know,
No.
if you see a choice between
Yeah.
like Beastmaster, Blademaster, Blood Mage at 30 minutes, you might be like, hey, if I can get a Blood Mage level 3, like, it's not great, but at least I can maybe clean up some casters.
Exactly.
It's a lot of damage.
And then, but I think this also should be combined with like, I don't want every unit to be like the same strength or every unit to be as good or serve the same purpose. But I feel like these big disparities just have to get smaller. You know, the difference between, oh, I rolled Worm, I rolled the strongest unit in the whole game, or oh, I rolled Demolisher, the worst unit in the whole game.
I think Mortar
difference
and
is just-
Glaive are worse, but yeah, point taken.
Or like
Yeah.
Glaive Thrower compared to a statue, you know, like
Yeah,
these are like
that's
the
that's a
That
big
one is a bit sad.
those are like the disparities where you're like, okay, so one team just rolled Chim, Worm, Griffin, and Statue Raider, and the other team just rolled Glaive, Mortar, and Demolisher, Griffin.
Yeah, but
You
this
know what
is
I mean?
like, this is you're just like destroyed at this point.
Obviously, it doesn't happen that often, right? But like whenever it happens, for example, the one game where we got like 2 Demolishers and 1 Griffin or something, it's like with 0 statues on top of that, it's like, bruh, what are we supposed to
Yeah.
do?
I think the ideal.
I think
I'll just say, I think the ideal scenario would be like the roles are different, but you always have the sort of options. And I think it's a bit sad when you just look at something like Demolisher or Mortar and you're just like, that is not an option. Like, I'm almost
Yes,
never going to build
yes.
one. It's just terrible. You know,
Having dead
you
units
want
in
the
is
units
just
to be
very
able to do
sad.
different things and be interesting in that sense, but it's not interesting to just go like, oh yeah, that's not a unit. I'm not using that.
I think at this point, I might even be okay. It's getting a lot better, right? Because all of the siege units are going to be in the same slot next patch. So the disparities are going to be a lot smaller. But that also means that we just have one dead slot that nobody is ever going to build if you aren't facing siege tanks. So
Yeah.
maybe there is a way forward that we have to find how we can actually balance these siege units to actually be strong into stuff like dryads with like, because the siege units do AoE, right? So maybe there is a way we can balance it so it's actually strong in like a lot of small units or similar.
Yeah,
I
there's
think this,
obviously the dumb balance of like, oh, if they do 10 damage, they suck, and if they do 3,000 damage, they're overpowered. Therefore, there must be a number that's
Yeah.
balanced in the middle. But like, you kind of want them to be good in their niche. You just kind of want to expand that
Yeah.
niche a little bit with Siege, because at the moment the niche is like maybe if they have tanks, and even then, probably not.
I think I've really thought about this for a very long time, and honestly, I don't find the sweet spot, which is unfortunate. I think the balancing of the units is gonna take a while to reach the point that you're talking about, and like to me, the low-hanging fruit is just the heroes. I think
Yeah, I agree.
9 out of 10 times I wasn't mad about my roll. Like this is kind of funny. Like we made a decision to not re-roll the entire tournament. Because we were afraid that we were going to DC. And
I think
every
we
time,
rerolled against VT once.
once, we rolled one game out of like, I don't know how many games we played. Every
but honestly,
time
we
we
feel
had
the same.
options to play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we honestly
so
feel the
then-
same. Yeah, because against BT we also didn't reroll. Just today we actually had like 2 rolls in a row where we were like, okay, this is completely unplayable.
Mm.
We need another reroll.
Yeah, but
No,
like my point is that out of a big,
know.
large sample size, like it's way more important to, as you said, not have a bad hero at the bad time. Like if I could have a bad roll and then get a decent hero, like I'm fine. I'll take that. But if I have like a really bad setup and a really bad hero, that's the
Yeah.
unwinnable situation. And
I think like adjusting the heroes is the issue at hand that we can fix very quickly. We can like put a system in place so you can have a little choice of a hero. The hero balancing, I think, is not that complicated with Beastmaster changes and then obviously aura changes to like get all of the heroes on a more even playing field, but still have their respective spots in certain situations. And the unit balancing, I think, is just something that has to like evolve from patch to patch going
progressively,
forward.
progressively
Yeah, there's like
improve,
there's no rush for it. It's still something we obviously want, but it's not something we okay, this has to be perfect in the next patch, you know, but it's a patch,
Yeah,
some unit swaps, some balancing things. We see how it plays out, and then patch by patch there will be small adjustments made.
100%. And you
Yeah.
sort of want to avoid thrashing as well, like balance thrashing, when the patches are going to be, it's not like they're every week or something. So you don't want to make like 50 changes. And today the meta is like, Grunt is really good. And then the patch comes out and it's like, oh, Footman's the best and you never built Grunt. It's like, that
Yeah,
doesn't like
those are the
solve
worst.
problems. It just creates different problems. So yeah, I like the
Exactly.
idea of like small nudges, see where they land. And then, if you need a bit more, go a bit more. Needs a bit less, take a bit less.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
this
those-
tournament also showed a lot of spots where the balancing should take place.
Yeah,
I still want the statue nerfed. I want statue nerfed into the fucking ground. Nerf that shit.
Agreed.
Remove that shit from the game. Remove it. Just remove it.
we love statues over here. Well, anyway, it was really fun. I enjoyed the whole series, the whole tournament. It was a pleasure to play with Epic and Lemon. And I want to thank everyone that joined the tournament because it took a monumental effort to get the games going. We had we had some stories to tell, but yeah, I'm just glad it's over, and hopefully in the future we'll have more fun tournaments with
For
more satisfied players.
I mean, I think in the end, I'm very satisfied with how the stuff went. I think the rule set and everything that was put in place was very good. I think there wasn't like too many issues. Obviously, we have to improve on the team finding and setting up games issue at hand, but that's something
It'll
that
come
we
with
can
time.
tackle on the next tournament. And
Alright,
also,
so
GG's to you guys for winning the tourney, and best of wishes to Lemon for a quick recovery.
GG, mate. Thanks. It was a good finals.
If she can hear me or if she's not puking into the toilet right now.
Alright, so I think we'll call it a night. Thank you guys for watching. We hope to see you soon, and we hope you enjoyed our company. And we'll see you in the next event.
Very last thing.
GG's.
Very much.
Join the Team OZE Discord if you haven't already. It's in the map description.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the Twitch description. Join it. Fuck are you doing? It's like one button. Not that
Yeah.
hard. Honestly.
True.
Oh wait,
Get
I
in
just
on the
wrote
fun.
the
Yeah.
Discord command, and obviously there's gonna be the bot that is not installed, who's instantly gonna respond with this.
Alright, so that's
We're going to
about
go
all
ahead
we
and
got
wrap it
from
up.
here.
So thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed. And catch yous.
Yeah.
Take care.